worlds upon worlds embedded in rock, the Vasistha portal, where myth becomes reality. Episode 2, Entering the Simulation. 2.1, The Nexus Chamber. The following morning, the lab was transformed into a multi-tiered command center. In the middle of the main hall lay a circular platform lined with quantum lattice nodes. 8 sleek reclining chairs formed a ring around the center, each equipped with neural-lattice headsets. A transparent dome overhead displayed real-time data about the quantum wave function states. Arundhati, Tadeo, Meera, and 3 other researchers, Dr. Shaheen Kapoor, a neurolinguist, Dr. Yvonne Hastings, a consciousness studies expert, and Dr. Ren Okazaki, a virtual reality engineer, would immerse themselves. The 7th seat was for an official safety officer named Lieutenant Jonas Mowbray, assigned by the university. Mowbray was a no-nonsense man with a military background, skeptical of all this mystical nonsense. He was there purely to ensure no one was physically or mentally harmed. The 8th seat remained empty, a backup for any last-minute participant or emergency staffer. On an upper walkway sat a crowd of observers from the university board, plus other curious researchers from adjacent departments. They watched as Tadeo made final calibrations to the integrated VR system. Arundhati led the group through a gentle guided meditation. The entire setup hummed with tension. This was it. Once they started, they had only limited time and quantum resources to see it through. The group settled into their chairs. AI-driven arms gently lowered the neural lattice helmets over each participant. Tadeo's calm voice emanated from hidden speakers. Commencing quantum lattice handshake in T-minus 30 seconds. Everyone, focus on your breath. The system will replicate the mental absorption described in Yoga Vasistha. If all goes well, we project ourselves into that dimension. Good luck. Arundhati's heart pounded. She recalled a verse. In the infinite consciousness, illusions arise as in dream. The wise see only consciousness, the deluded see worlds. She took a deep breath, letting her eyes drift closed. 2.2, The Initiation. An indescribable swirl of color, sound, and pure sensation enveloped them as the system engaged. Each mind sank deep into the quantum lattice interface. Gradually, distinct illusions coalesced. At first, it seemed like they were floating in a luminous ocean of swirling fractal patterns. Then, their vantage sharpened. They found themselves standing, though they felt no tangible ground, within an endless black void. Yet in front of them was a single monolithic rock, dark grey, floating in the darkness. Tadeo's voice, calm yet resonant, reached their shared mental space. I'm seeing it. Are you all seeing the same thing? Arundhati's internal mind voice replied, yes, a massive rock, a single entity in a cosmic night sky. Meera's voice, exactly. It feels bigger up close. Lieutenant Mowbray's voice had an edge of alarm. How is this so real? I can feel the chill of this void. That's not typical VR. Indeed, this VR was different. The quantum lattice was tapping into subtle layers of their consciousness. Every sensation was hyper-real. They could see each other only as luminous outlines, but could sense emotion and posture. Ahead, the huge rock glistened. It was the approximate size of a small mountain, though scale was tricky in a dimension with no horizon. Its surface was pockmarked, like volcanic basalt. Something about it felt alive. Tadeo took a step forward. According to the text, there should be an entire universe within it. We need to see if we can pass inside. Arundhati recalled the instructions from Yoga Vasistha. He who abandons all notions of the physical merges in the infinite consciousness. Then the rock is perceived for what it is, a portal of illusions. She quietly recited a Sanskrit mantra of dissolution, focusing on letting go of her sense of an external solid reality. The system, linked to her brainwaves, might respond. Indeed, the rock began to glow faintly. Veins of silver light coursed across its surface. Ren Okazaki, The VR engineer studied the phenomenon with digital overlays in real time. We're definitely affecting it. Keep it up. They gathered at the base of the rock. Each participant mentally repeated the meditative instructions. A swirling aperture began to form, an opening of shimmering translucence. Without any physical gesture, they collectively willed themselves closer, and the aperture seemed to widen. "It's like we're stepping into warm water," Mira commented. "But it's solid rock." Lieutenant Mowbray involuntarily reached out. His luminous outline hand sank into the rock's surface like it was liquid. "This is insane," he muttered. "Feels so real." "Here we go," said Arundhati. One by one, they drifted through the aperture and entered the rock. 2.3. Within the rock. They emerged into a landscape so incongruous that everyone froze in awe. It was daytime, with a sunlit sky swirling overhead in pastel hues of turquoise and lavender. They stood on the edge of a lush meadow, emerald grass carpeting the land in gentle waves. Off in the distance were rolling hills, rivers, and beyond that, snow-capped peaks that glowed with an otherworldly luminescence. Birds sang in the trees. A gentle breeze carried the scent of jasmine. Overhead, shapes that resembled small drifting islands floated lazily. The entire environment teemed with life and color. This was no mere metaphor. This was an entire world hidden within the rock. Arundhati breathed it in. So it's true. Some aspect of consciousness or sub-reality is generating this entire environment. The text was right. Dr. Yvonne Hastings, tears of wonder in her eyes, whispered, "The consciousness field is self-coherent. This must be the reality that the rishis accessed. Are we still sure this is just a simulation? It feels—" She trailed off, lost for words. "Let's keep our wits about us," Tadeo reminded the group. "We need data. We'll record everything with the system's internal memory." It seemed that each participant's luminous form had taken on a more substantial appearance now, as if the environment was providing them with physical shapes. They could see their own arms and legs, albeit subtly translucent, as if they were made of condensed light. Lieutenant Mowbray tested the ground with a foot. "Feels like real dirt. Smells real. If I didn't know better, I'd swear we'd just stepped through a door in normal space." Arundhati recalled the text's description of rishis encountering everything from entire civilizations to cosmic anomalies in such worlds. "Let's see if we can find inhabitants," she suggested. 2.4. The Radiant Woman. They ventured across the meadow, occasionally marveling at flora they couldn't identify, somewhere between Earth's flowers and luminous alien plants. Soon, they saw a radiant figure coming toward them. It appeared female, draped in a translucent robe that shimmered like moonlight. Her presence exuded calm and something akin to mild curiosity. As she drew closer, the group almost collectively remembered a passage from Yoga Vasistha. "I saw a woman radiant who illumined all directions of space. She approached and said, 'O sage, you have truly conquered the evils of lust, anger, and greed.'" The woman halted a few paces away, hands folded in greeting. She spoke in gentle tones, though they understood her in modern speech, courtesy of the system's translation overlay. "You have come. I sensed your approach from beyond the boundary. You are travelers, or explorers, yes?" Arundhati stepped forward. "Yes. We come from another realm. We read ancient teachings that mention this world. We're here to learn." The figure nodded. "We rarely receive visitors from outside. In times past, rishis and sages arrived, but it has been so long." She gazed at each of them, pausing at Mowbray's sidearm-like outline. "Fear not. No harm shall come to you here, unless fear itself be your cause. I am called Nera, once known as the Celestial Radiance." Tadeo was entranced. "Can you tell us about this place? Is it a simulation?" Nera smiled. "Simulation, creation, illusion, reality. You use many words. It is all pure consciousness. I too have lived here for eons, waiting to find release. Her gaze softened. Long ago, this entire world was shaped by a powerful mind. He is my husband, the creator of this realm. We are bound to it until we realize the higher truth that dissolves illusions. Arundhati's mind raced. This was eerily close to the text describing the same radiant woman whose husband was a celibate sage ignoring her. Your husband? Is he still here? And you have not attained liberation? Neera's eyes grew distant. He merges often in silent meditation, leaving me to wander alone. My desires once bound me, but I've since cultivated dispassion. I have seen many wonders, countless births, dissolutions, yet each time the illusions persist, for so many still hold them in mind. Perhaps you travelers can help. But come, we should not stand out here in the open. She beckoned them to follow. The group, exchanging astonished glances, trailed her across a flower-strewn field toward a cluster of ornate buildings that looked half temple, half floating spires. Everything about this was beyond normal logic, and yet they walked through it as if it were the most natural realm. 2.5. The Celestial Audience. They arrived at a towering structure of polished stone that pulsed faintly with life. Wide arches opened to a grand hall within. There, upon a dais, sat a figure in deep meditation. His skin glowed, hair falling in matted locks. An aura of golden luminescence wreathed his body, so intense that the entire hall was illuminated by him alone. He did not stir as they entered. Neera addressed him softly, "My lord, awaken. Visitors have come from another domain. They wish to understand." The man's eyes drifted open. He slowly regarded the strangers. With each passing moment, the bright aura around him receded until he looked merely mortal, albeit regal and ancient. Arundhati stepped forward. "Greetings. We call it Earth, a realm outside this rock. We read descriptions of your universe in a text known as the Yoga Vasistha. We used advanced technology to enter. We want to learn how and why this world exists." The being, whom Neera called the Creator, remained silent for a time, as if calibrating to a new awareness. Then, in a deep, resonant voice, "You come from a dimension in which you believe matter is real and illusions are fantasies. Here, we know all forms are illusions within consciousness. This creation is non-different from pure consciousness, yet it appears to have form and solidity because of persistent notions. I am the focal mind of those persistent notions." Arundhati nodded. "Yes, that's consistent with the text. But we want to show the larger world that your existence is not merely mythical. We want to understand how illusions like this remain stable, and can you truly cause your entire world to end if you simply let go of the notion that it exists?" The Creator's eyes glimmered with subtle amusement. "In your dimension, do you not end illusions when you awaken from a dream? Yet to the dream's inhabitants, it is very real. So too here. When the mind that shaped it dissolves, the illusions vanish. But that dissolution may be partial if other minds sustain it. This is the secret of consciousness. One mind alone does not create all illusions. There is a web of interplay. I have mostly withdrawn from involvement, yet vestiges of desire or fear linger. That is how Neera remains bound." Neera lowered her head. "Yes, I was created as his consort, a manifestation of his subtle desire. But because he chose asceticism, I roamed unfulfilled, consumed by longing. Over the ages, that longing twisted. Now I too seek only freedom from illusions." Their words resonated strongly with the Yoga Vasistha's lines about desire, ignorance, and the illusions they spawn. The group recognized that they were part of the interplay. By witnessing and believing in the rock world, they too sustained it. 2.6. The Lab in an Uproar. Meanwhile, back outside the VR immersion, in the Prismatic Lab's control room, the watchers stared at readouts in disbelief. The 8 participants' vitals showed stable but extremely elevated neural coherence, as if they were all in a deep, identical dream state. The VR console displayed a swirling fractal with a stable subbubble labeled Interior Rock Universe. The AI was capturing reams of data. The watchers could see from a low-resolution vantage what each participant experienced, though only partially. The visuals were so complex that the system's monitors flickered in staccato pulses. One of the university board members asked in a hushed tone, "They're definitely seeing the same environment. This is extraordinary." Another commented, "But is it just a fancy VR script they created? Or is it truly spontaneously generated from their consciousness?" The data suggested something more than standard VR. The system wasn't pushing any pre-coded environment. Instead, it was a loop reading their mental states, the quantum lattice fluctuations, and forming a coherent domain from that synergy. There was no single controlling script. The entire lab bustled with excitement and underlying tension. If any participant's mind or fear spiked, it could produce chaotic events inside that realm. 2.7. Seeds of Disruption. Inside the rock world, after hearing the creator's words, Tadeo and the others questioned him about cosmic dissolution, illusions, time cycles. The creator explained that ages pass differently here. Entire civilizations have risen and fallen within that dimension, many of them unaware they are illusions. The group learned that intense fear or desire can reshape the environment or spawn manifestations. However, the more they discussed, the more Lieutenant Mowbray grew uneasy. All this talk about illusions. We're from the outside world. Our bodies are presumably lying in chairs. But if we do something reckless here, can we get stuck? Is it physically dangerous out there? Tadeo shook his head. We have safety protocols. The system can forcibly disconnect us if needed. But yes, we should be mindful. The text warns that attachments, even illusions, can entangle consciousness. Arundhati, remembering certain ominous lines, turned to Neera. In the Yoga Vasistha, the dissolution of entire cosmic structures was described. Fires, floods, chaos. Could that happen here if the creator truly withdrew all involvement? Neera nodded solemnly. Indeed, it can. Or if he merges into the absolute, all illusions might come undone violently. Many within the realm cling to illusions. They might cause great turbulence in the last moments. A hush fell. The group realized the Yoga Vasistha had described cataclysmic events that preceded cosmic dissolution. Arundhati began to wonder, is our presence here accelerating that process? The text says that once the cosmic person truly sees the illusory nature, the dissolution can begin. The creator, reading her thoughts, spoke quietly. Yes, my continuing illusions are weakening. The moment of final dissolution draws near. But I sense your presence can help. There are many souls, illusions though they be, who fear the end. Perhaps you can show them the path beyond fear. Behind them, a subtle rumbling sounded, as though the ground itself let out a tremor. The sky flickered momentarily from turquoise to a deeper, stormy hue. Arundhati felt goosebumps. The text's cataclysmic vision was starting. She turned to Tadeo. We might be seeing the earliest signs of dissolution. We'd better gather more data quickly. Then we decide if we stay to observe or exit to avoid catastrophe. Lieutenant Mowbray looked at the swirling sky. Observing a cataclysm from inside a dissolving illusion? I don't like the sound of that. Yet curiosity and a sense of duty compelled them. Their mission was to document the phenomenon. Could they truly walk away at this crucial juncture? Arundhati's heart pounded. She recalled how the final cosmic dissolution in the text was both terrifying and liberating. Worlds ending, illusions undone, pure consciousness revealed. Part of her needed to see how it played out. She suspected that understanding might help the outside world realize the nature of all reality as a cosmic dream. 2.8. Breaking Boundaries. Suddenly, the ground shook more forcefully. A crack tore through the polished floor of the hall. Panicked cries rang out from outside as illusions began to fluctuate. The creator's face remained calm, but lines of faint sorrow appeared. It begins. My illusions unravel. Nera's voice trembled. My lord, can it not be delayed? He shook his head. I have carried these illusions for far too long. The time has come for me to merge into pure consciousness. All ephemeral worlds must pass. Tadeo quickly interfaced with the VR control. He opened a mental channel to the outside lab. We're seeing signs of cataclysm. We'd like to remain a while longer to observe, but if it becomes too dangerous, we'll signal for an emergency extraction. From the external lab, the AI responded in their mind link. Understood. Monitoring your vitals. Arundhati turned to the creator. Before you dissolve, can you show us how illusions form and vanish? We want to bring this knowledge back. The creator raised a hand, a swirl of golden light forming around him. I shall do as I can. Follow me. In an instant, he rose into the air and floated out of the hall. The group followed, guided by intangible lines of force. The city around them was descending into chaos. Some buildings cracked, waterfalls from nowhere surged through the streets. Bizarre elemental phenomena manifested, lightning flickering in the pinkish sky. The laws of nature themselves were unraveling. And yet, the group felt only mild concern. Oddly, fear was muted, replaced by an otherworldly acceptance. Or perhaps the advanced VR training was damping raw panic. The creator led them to a vantage point high above the city. From there, they could see the land rolling away in all directions. On one horizon, flames roared, devouring entire forests. On another, a colossal wave overshadowed mountains. In the sky, swirling lights and rifts formed. The entire spectacle resembled the Yoga Vasistha's description, the end of a cosmic cycle when illusions fold into themselves. Nera wept silently, witnessing the dissolution of her home. Yet tears of longing no longer stained her expression with heartbreak, rather a strange relief. Perhaps now, at long last, I too shall be free. Mira, horrified yet mesmerized, asked in a trembling voice, should we try to help these people? Are they conscious beings? The Creator's voice was distant. They are illusions, yet illusions that feel, that suffer. In each dissolution, these illusions re-emerge unless realization dawns. Arundhati recalled the line, they do not attain liberation, not being enlightened, yet they do not become insentient, for they remain illusions. They continue existing in space, creating dream worlds within themselves. Her eyes filled with compassion. Even illusions are real enough to feel pain. She resolved to do something. Somehow. Then a deafening rumble echoed across the heavens. The final unraveling was near. They had precious little time.